Mopi is one of the most popular names in house and tech house music right now. And with his new track, The Less I Know, The Better, he landed himself a #1 Beatport hit. And today we'll dive deep into the track and show you how it's done. The track is an edit of the very famous Tame Impala track that Mopi has been playing a lot in his shows, but now they managed to make the edit official and release it on Nervous Records. I'm Yannick from the Produce School and I will break down all the elements of this track and build it up from scratch. So the bass, drums, FX, vocals and more. And hopefully you can learn some new things from this track and use it in your own productions. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and let's get straight into this. I downloaded the original Tame Impala track and put it into FL Studio over here. I also made it a little bit faster than the original track because the Mopi edit is at 128 BPM. So I stretched it and then I used the FL Studio stem splitter over here to extract the different parts of the original track so we can use that in the edit. So the things I'm using are the bass, which is this one, and the vocal over here. And this just makes it a little bit easier to edit the track. For now, let's mute those elements because we will need them later. And I want to start with the bass of the track. For that, I will be using a preset from our pack Motion, which is our brand new house, tech house and new disco producer pack, and most of the sounds in this video are from that pack. So if you want to check it out, use the link in the description, which you will find more information about the pack as well. So this is the bass sound that I will be using. It's kind of a fake bass guitar, but it's mixed with a synth, of course. So what we have here is a saw wave table that's being sent through the filter, and envelope 1 is modulating the filter cutoff. So we get a little bit more of a plucky bass sound. For the effects, there is some asymmetrical distortion. Let me first just turn off all the effects. Add some drive, then a splitter, which adds some saturation on the high end. An equalizer to boost a little bit of the mids, and then a filter which just removes a little bit of that high end. This creates a very powerful bass sound that is similar to a sound that Mopi used in his edit. Let's draw in the bass line, which sounds like this. That already sounds pretty cool, but I think we can spice it up a little by introducing some glide notes. When we go to Serum and we go to the voicing section, you can see that mono legato is turned on and there is some portamento time, and this helps us create those kind of funky slides, which I believe are in the Mopi track as well. So I'm gonna add some glide notes, maybe for this one. It just adds a little bit more character and feel to the bass. And for these two as well, copy this. Here, these higher ones. I think that's great. Let's drag the bass line into the playlist over here. And now let's add a kick drum, which I sampled from the original track, so it's almost the same as the Mopi track. Let's add a 4/4 kick. A thing that Mopi did in his track and a lot of other tech house tracks is adding a double kick over here. And then at the end over here as well. So together with the bass line. Let me put the bass line in a mixer channel and add some effects to it. Want to add a little bit of multiband compression with OTT. It's a little bit more tight. Maybe a decapitator to beef up the sound a little bit more. Add some distortion to it. Mix not up all the way. Something like that. And then of course some sidechaining with Kickstart 2. Pretty heavy sidechain, I think, works. Just the kick is pretty big. Let's copy the kick here as well. On some hits of the bass, I want to add a kind of accent, which I think the Mopi track also has. For that, I will be using this sound. Also from our motion pack. It's a little bit of a wider bass sound, and I'm gonna put it just on these first notes like this. So there really is an accent on those first hits. Let's put it in the mixer channel as well and remove all of the low frequencies because the other main bass already has that. This is just for some nuance. Add some distortion to this one as well. And some kickstart for sidechain. Another thing Mopi did in his track is that he probably used the bass of the original track to layer on top of his own bass. So luckily we have the stems over here, which I showed you in the beginning. And with this bass line we can use the same like accents as we just created with this second bass. And we're just gonna cut it up right here. And this one as well. I think that works. Now let's make sure it's perfectly on the beat. Set the transient mode to generic. Now let's add that to a mixer channel and maybe distort it a little bit more. Put up the drive. That's cool. Then an EQ to remove a lot of the low end. And let's filter it also by ducking in the highs, maybe a little bit more. Let's add a chorus to make it a little bit wider. I'm using the vintage chorus from FL Studio. Works well, I think. A little bit of sidechain with Kickstart 2 over here. And lower down the volume. Now let's start working on the drums. First, I'm going to introduce an open head, which is on every offbeat. Like that. Pretty snappy and short one. And I'm going to layer it with another open head, which is more of an 909 open head, which is a little bit longer, so it has a longer tail. Then a clap sound. Like this, just very basic. And layer it with another clap sound, which is a little bit lower. Some more mid information. End of every 4 bars, Mopi also spiced up the clap rhythm a little bit to create a kind of fill, which is something like this. Let's make a unique copy of those claps, lower the volume a little bit right here. So the accent is still on the main clap. And these lower claps are just there to fill it up. Works. Now let's add a 1/16 note closed head to this. Very simple, just using this very short closed head sound. Let's tweak the velocity so there's a little bit more groove. Something like that. I quickly added these kind of percussion loops. The first one is a very minimal glitchy percussion loop. And a similar loop like this can be heard in the Mopi track with the other drums. Nice ear candy. And then another percussion loop, which is like really low in volume and pitch down all the way. But together they add a nice extra touch to the drums. Let's copy it here. Let's add some vinyl noise sample underneath the track as well. Just to give it a more of an old school house feeling. and a crash, the start of the drop, which is this 909 sample. Copy this right here. For the second part of the drop, I added this shaker loop, which is really low in volume, and it sounds like this. Just adds a little bit more energy to the second part. And also this percussion one shot makes some things a little bit more interesting, but nothing really crazy. It's a very simple track. And that was it for the drums. One final thing we have to do is to add some vocal chops of the original vocal on top of the drop. So let's go to the vocal stems over here. And we have to look for the part. That's the part we're looking for. Let's cut it right here. And then we have to put it on top of the edit. And then this part over here together. Yeah, perfect. Then copy this here as well. Then let's put these vocal chops in a mixer channel over here. Remove a little bit of the low end. Add some side chaining to it. And lower down the volume. Thing that you can also hear in this vocal chop in Mope's track, it's kind of stutter effect, which is being automated. And I'm going to do that with gross beat and use the 1/4 beat gate. And then we're gonna automate the volume or the mix of the gross beat over here. Gradually like open it up. That works, I think. And then it should be down here. And then at the end of the first part of the drop, I think the original track is being used to play the bass line, which is just this part probably. That works. Cut it right here. And then let me just put the original Mope remix before it. Add a little filter right here. Something like that will work. And that's everything for this Mope track. I really tried to recreate it as closely as possible, but of course I can't look into his project, so I'm not sure exactly what I did, but I think I got very close. So this is then the final result. I hope you could learn some new things by watching this video and improve your own productions. If you have any questions about this video or things that I did, then feel free to drop a comment. If you want to see other tracks being recreated, then drop it in the comments down below and we can see if we can do some more recreations in the future. For now, I want to thank you guys so much for watching and I hope to see you in a next video.